Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Tuesdays with Terica. So, we are doing our Zoom again, and you know what? I have been graced to be able to meet and to speak with via Zoom my cousin, Mr. William Willingham. Okay, he goes by Will now, but as a little kid, he used to be William.
Um,
You
I'm
grow
still
up and
William.
change a little bit. How
Yeah,
are you? How
I'm
are you?
doing well. I'm doing well.
I,
How are
you
you?
know, I'm great. I am so good. But one of the things that makes me so excited is because I finally have an opportunity to interview you. And honestly, I feel bad in a certain sense that it's taken so long, but I know that the timing now is right. I felt as though you were so busy and you were doing so much in trying to put everything together and in place that I didn't want to infringe on your time. So I just want to let you know that I am so grateful and so honored that you have carved out a little space for me. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you for that.
I'm grateful for you as well, and anything for family. And I'm always going to make time for family, so I'm never too busy for that. Definitely, and I appreciate you even considering me.
Well, I think what you're doing is so awesome. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to give Will a chance to explain his brand. But again, he is the CEO of and partner for Plugged In Media Group and Plugged In Collections. So, let's talk a little bit about Plugged In Media Group because those of you who have not followed him, I'm telling you, he is up there with some of the most fabulous people. How does that feel to be in the room where there are legends actually?
Um, no, it feels great. I always try to surround myself with people that are making moves and who inspire me as well. And status or money and stuff like that doesn't matter. Usually, I don't put myself in the room with people that aren't good people.
Mhm.
So they have to align with with what I believe in, and the things that the type of energy that I like to attract. So Plugged In Media Group is basically my agency, and I'm able to develop other people's visions, other people's clothing lines. There's a lot that falls under that umbrella, but it's really brand management and marketing, and
Mhm.
just everything involved in the culture, and just enhancing the creative experience. That's what it's all
So,
about.
so how did you actually get started? Okay, so I know that you attended Howard University.
Yeah,
And I know that there's a lot of culture there, but
yeah.
you being in education, because your degree is in education, but then you did a switch. So what
Yeah.
was it that brought you from one place to another?
Well, to be honest, I was always interested in education and always interested in helping kids, but I didn't want to necessarily teach in that frame. So I always involve myself with kids. I have an agency and a education program as well as an entrepreneur program where I deal with kids, and I love being around kids. I'm in several mentoring programs here based in Detroit. So I've always operated from with the young people in mind. So that's how eventually I started, while I was in college, I started throwing parties. And
Mhm.
a couple of my friends were in the NBA, and and I had a couple of other friends that went to Howard, and I decided, I was gonna start throwing and hosting parties, and that took off. And then I eventually have the longest standing comedy room in DC to this day. So I did a 5 year run of a comedy show. I never did it before, but I teamed up with Joe Claire and Red Grant and those guys from DC, and I did a weekly comedy show with two of my partners, which was Antoine Terrell and Flip Jenkins, and we put something great together, and that's how I was able to develop a lot of a lot of relationships as well, as well as the Howard connection and being from Detroit and just the whole nine. It all just connects,
So
So it
how
feels good.
hard was it to because being living in Detroit, it automatically has a certain vibe. But now
Hmm.
you're in DC. Was it
Hmm.
easy to kind of switch vibes, or was it a continuation of what you already knew?
Well, I didn't know much about DC. I stayed at home for a year, and went to junior college to get my grades up. So it was like a culture shock. My mom really wanted me to go there. You know what I'm saying? She was really man, she was just adamant about me getting in there, and I definitely got in. And when I got there, I didn't know what to expect, and I got there, and I said, I'm never going home. But I ended up coming back home, but to to do some great things. But
It was
no,
still work
DC
that
was
needed
like
to be done.
DC opened my eyes to so much because there's so much culture there, so much ethnicity, and oh man, it's so authentic. It's a very great place to experience different things. So it was good.
If you had a young person, which I know, like you said, you do mentor, but if you had a young person that was coming from a completely different culture, that did not know the vibe of either of the places, Detroit or for DC, how would you help them to kind of navigate through the process to start exploring?
Well, Detroit is a different place. I mean, it's up and coming, and it still has a long way to go, even as far as the culture, and even as far as just the creatives in the culture and the outlets, the different outlets that you have. There's a lot to be discovered here in Detroit, but I can speak for DC as well, and DC is such it's just such a great place. You can, find spoken word. You can, it's basically a baby New York where you can just experience whatever you're looking for. You can find it. And
24/7.
yeah, definitely. And Detroit is up and coming in that way as well. There's a lot of new entrepreneurs and people that are really getting their dreams out straight from here. You don't have to leave here and go to New York and go to these different places just to be discovered, because it's kind of like all eyes on Detroit right now. So that's a great thing. But yeah, but DC is just like, if you're trying to find your way or tap into your creative space, or if you're an artist, or if you paint, or if you design clothes. I mean, there's African American people there. There's a great culture there. Just great people that are educated, and things that you can really tap in just to hone your, just to perfect your skills.
I
Well, I'm
understand.
not a designer by trade.
Hmm.
I do have a clothing company, but
Yes.
um, I've been around some great designers, and inspired by the culture so much. I've always been in the hip hop culture, or or just everything with our people. You know what I mean? I'm all about us. So I'm confident in putting out designs in that way, but I'm sure we'll get to that.
Well, and
Definitely.
that was actually going to be my next question, because with the Plugged In collection, how did Plugged In become the name of the brand? Because there's
So
somebody that's watching that may not know um
yes.
what that even means.
So first of all, um, the meaning of it is, in our the whole mission statement is, it's never about being a plug. It's all about what you're plugged into, your energy, your access, and your network. So that's what it's all about. So some people, the average person, or just in the hip hop um, community. They might be like, oh, they're plugged in. They're plugged in. They know how to plug you and get you into this. And it's not about that. It's about what you're plugged into, what energy you're attracting. You know what I'm saying, and what your network is, and which creates access, and that will open doors for you and allow you to be in the rooms that you were talking about. So that's what it's about. So that's the energy behind the brand. So everything that I try to release, it has some type of feeling to it or some type of meaning, whether it's this is a blessed design, and on the back it says I'm plugged into the highest power. So that could translate into churches or anything. And then I have other designs. It's all about the love. And then some just have plugged on it. And that's for the person that feel like, yeah, I do know some stuff. I do know some people that, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm trying to know some people that, you know what I mean, that can make some stuff move and stuff like that. So it's just a confident brand. It's one of the only brands that I see that is designed to help other people, and whether that's emotionally, whether that's giving you drive to go and meet some people, whether it's encouraging you to increase your network. That's what the brand is all about, and that's been the brand, and it started in 2003 through music. Music management and different things like that, and then it went to promotions and marketing and parties and events and different things, concerts, and then eventually into the clothing line. So now we have Plugged In Collection, and I have a website, pluggedincollection.com. I have a store. We have a store downtown, which is called Plugged in the D, and that's our brick and mortar on 1301 Broadway, downtown Detroit. And yeah, so that's what we're doing.
Well, let me ask you this. When you guys first started wearing your brand, because you have to be the one to wear it first, did
Yeah.
it catch on pretty easy, or do you think you had to constantly share what it was about? Or did people just say, hey, that's nice, I like that. Where can I get one of
Well,
those? Because I know even in telling them how they could get it, you would have to share what does it mean? Because most people want to know, well, what am I wearing? What does this mean? How is this relevant to me?
so the blessing was anybody that has known me or was close to me for the last 20 years, they've known that I've had this company, and they've known constantly I've drilled it in people's head like exactly what it is. But when it was time to put it on clothing, yes, I did have to reiterate that to people, and I did that by putting it on the hang tags. The meaning of the brand and the mission statement behind the brand, as well as putting it on the website. So when they did Google it, or when they did look at the Instagram or whatever, the first thing you see is, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. And every piece of promo that I've ever given out, um, it's always been it's always had the meaning and the mission statement on the card. So by us being in downtown Detroit, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of different people that are coming in buying up properties, or Silicon. A lot of the people from Silicon Valley are coming to Detroit now because it's cheaper there. So it's very diverse. So we meet a lot of different type of people. So the first thing they do is look at that card, and when they see it, it translates. And I try to focus on quality, so they can, so they can never deny the quality, or that it's only going to be a one-time wear or anything like that. I use heavier materials and material that you'll be able to wear forever. So that's one of the things that I like to focus on. And I let the brand speak for itself after they see what it means, and I'm able to, or me or my employees are able to tell them exactly what it means when they first walk in the door, when they can see it on the wall at the brick and mortar. This means what you're plugged into, your energy, your access, and your network. It makes them feel good, and then they know that they're getting a piece of Detroit, and that they can take it, and it translates into anywhere.
The one thing that I like about the brand is being plugged in may mean one thing for you or someone else, but it may mean something completely different for me. But that
Yes,
still means we're all plugged in to something that is greater than who we are. And so
exactly.
I think that's awesome. Whether that means I'm plugging into more courage, whether I'm plugging into a different mindset, whether I'm plugging into seeking someone to pour into me greater. It it
Yeah.
it has such a positive message for so many, and I think it's an awesome thing to be able to spread some positiveness in the world that we're living in at this time, because it's a lot going on. So
Oh yeah.
you had to say or even think about one of your I won't say mistakes, but one of the biggest mistakes or the biggest errors or something that you did starting out that you wish you could have done different, what would that one thing be?
Well, mistakes. I, see, it's funny because I look at everything as a lesson.
Mhm.
I look at everything as a lesson. So you don't learn anything from your wins. You know what I'm saying? You only really learn from your lessons, and those lessons could be losses. So um, early on, it's not much I would have changed. I made mistakes. I've invested in um, bad material before. Went with a vendor that just bet on myself, which I don't regret. There's some things that I've done along the way with business that I can definitely say that that I should have done a little bit better. And some things have to deal, with just legal things as far as paperwork or not having certain things in place earlier, at an early stage. But those are lessons that I had to learn along the way. And and yeah, I had to look at different examples of what I want to become as a business person, and I'm still learning to this day. But definitely, I'm more conscious of just business and just having those uncomfortable conversations early,
Mhm.
and then
Because
having
it's
to avoid
better
the
to
later.
have it and get it out the way, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's not personal. It's
Mhm.
not personal. It's just like you got to put it on the floor and let it go. And that way, either someone will, if they agree to it, then or if you agree to it, then that's what it is. But you have to have those uncomfortable conversations. You can't do business as friends or go into business as friends. You have to go as two business. If you're going to have a partner, you have to go as two business people,
Mhm.
and take your emotions out of it, or three or four, whatever it is, whoever you're at the table with, you got to know that they're going to carry their weight. So,
That's one of the things that when I started in real estate, my first sale was a coworker at the time, and then it went on to the people that I went to church with, and I had so many people that was angry with me because they didn't know that I was working with somebody that they was probably friends with or in their family. But one of the things that the Lord shared with me is business, church is church, family is family, keep everything separate. And it really, in the long run, it has helped me to sustain in my business because I had the mindset up front. So I
mhm,
completely understand what you're saying when you say
that
that.
was yeah, that will save you every time. I think that's super important.
Absolutely. Okay, so tell me, and I know you are a humble man, I know you are very modest, but what would you say was your greatest accomplishment to date? And you might not even have just one, but what would that thing be?
Um, yeah,
You thought I
uh,
was gonna come with some little girly questions, didn't
nah,
you?
nah, like I'm still, you know what? One of the things that, besides my daughter and, and just my family and everything like that, but I feel like I'm so happy that I have a college degree from Howard University. That is probably, you know, the biggest thing that I hold dear to my heart, that I know no one could ever take away from me. You know what I'm saying? And it it's not a status thing. It's not any of that. I'm very proud to be a part of that fraternity right there, but it's more so to label myself as an educated black man. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
that's
And
great.
I mean a lot. You know what I'm
That
saying? I
is
think that means a
awesome.
lot. Definitely.
How do you see your brand growing or evolving within the next 5 to 10 years?
I see it growing. So up until this point, I've been able to keep the brand very exclusive. I didn't give it to Foot Locker or any of these. I'm not naming companies, but I didn't give it to any of the major companies because I didn't want the brand watered down. I wanted something that came directly from me or my company out into the world. So I distributed I've distributed it myself up until this point, and now it's going into a different phase. So maybe we'll see, where the brand will be carried, and where it will live and stuff like that. And I'll spread it, continue to spread it, and continue to spread it nationally as well as internationally. Have some pieces designed for different places. I've experimented with it. So some people are plugged in Atlanta. Some people are plugged in South Carolina. So you'll start seeing more of those type of pieces as well as Africa and Nigeria, different things like that. So yeah, we'll continue to expand, but now I'm going into a phase of a 501c3, the 501c3 space where it's plugged in for kids, and it's
Yes.
all about creating a network for them early in life. Whether they're 13 or 14 and want to get into a graphic design, or if some of them are 17 and want to go into real estate or whatever, at least they have someone that they can contact, someone they've met along the way, and just getting different individuals from different walks of life and different and different professions into a room, or not even literally into the room. It's just creating a network for these kids, for them to have someone to reach out to. So that's what it's about.
That is so great. So great. Okay, so this is just kind of off the top of my head. Do you think you're successful?
I think um, I just think I got a lot more work to do.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm proud of some of the things that I've accomplished, and I'm proud that I'm able to value the relationships that I have, and but I definitely still feel like I got more to do, and but I do feel accomplished. I feel positive, and yeah, I do feel those things. I feel loved, and I feel like I'm giving love as well. So, and I'm grateful, and I'm grateful to God as well.
We are so proud of you as your family. Whether we are in Virginia, whether we are in New Jersey, whether we are in North Carolina, South Carolina, California, where Ohio, wherever we are all so proud of you because you took a leap of faith.
Thank you.
um I didn't know what plugged in meant when you first started out, but I made it my business to try to understand what I thought you were trying to accomplish. And I'm just so grateful that you are one of so many that took time to try to put something so positive out into the world where there's so much discord and so much hurt and so much pain, to allow people to know that there is something in someone greater. So I applaud you. I applaud you. I thank you so much for just attempting to try to achieve your goal and to achieve the dream. Because
Thank
sometimes when you have something in you, and even though you try to suppress it and you really don't know how to take one step or the next step, or however, it kind of sometimes it can make you hold back and not really even try to walk it out. But the fact that, you have great parents, your dad was amazing. He was one of my great supporters from when I was just a little girl. I will never forget all of the encouraging words I just can't help but imagine he is so very proud of you.
That's a blessing. I appreciate you saying that. I love you as family. I love you as my cousin. And this was a positive experience for me as well. But yeah, I just want to make you guys proud and make my mom proud, just everyone. And just, ask God to continue to bless our family and keep us close like we are.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, I just want to just thank you all for watching. I want you to stay plugged in. This is Will Willingham, Detroit, Michigan, plugged in CEO collection media group. He's got so many things going on, so much he's wrapped up in, so much positive humbleness, just a great, great person. If you don't know him, if you haven't been following him, follow him. He's going to do great, great things. Hey guys, I'm Terica Talbert with Century 21. I sponsored today's episode. Until next week, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you then.